What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today we're going to be diving deep into one of the new attachments they added with the Nightfall update in Battlefield 6, and this is the 50 milliwatt violet laser. Now for those that have missed it, I've also just recently covered the new flash hider, the flash comp, in great detail, and I will leave a link to that video in the description of this one. But today we're just focusing on this violet laser, and so let's dive into the basics here. And with the description, it just states that it provides a minor improvement to aim down sight accuracy while moving, and interestingly, it's not visible to enemy soldiers, so it's just like the red laser in that way. And then of course it also mentions the benefit is only active when the laser is turned on, so you can toggle it on or off in game. Now, of course, what we're really going to be honing in on today is that minor improvement to our aim down sight accuracy while moving, which it turns out is the exact same benefit you get from both of the blue lasers. I initially misread this as I was sort of just skimming through. When I looked at the 50 milliwatt blue laser, I saw a slight improvement, but that was referring to the hipfire accuracy part. I just kind of glossed over that a little bit. So I did think there might be a difference here with how much this is helping to your aim down sight accuracy while moving, but that's not the case. This actually helps the exact same as those lasers, and I wanted to show that benefit off here. And with this, when it comes to hand testing, it's very difficult to properly isolate aim down sight spread while moving. And the simple reason behind that is you're also dealing with recoil, and you're dealing with the spread that's just increasing as you continue holding down the trigger, whether you're moving or not. So really nailing it down to just the amount of spread that you're experiencing because of the movement itself can be tricky, but I have come up with a couple methods here that help show this off. And with this, I'm going to be using the AK-205 because it has the lowest recoil in the game. Plus, normally I do my recoil testing on mouse and keyboard because they get the full amount of recoil. But since I'm trying to reduce that variable as much as possible, I'm using controller for these tests. So I get a 25% reduction to recoil. The devs have confirmed in the past that this reduction only applies to recoil, not spread, so controller players still have the exact same amount of spread as a mouse and keyboard player. And I'm also using an underbarrel grip that helps with recoil without harming our aim down sight accuracy while moving at all, so that's the alloy vertical. And with this first set of tests, what I did is I started at the exact same point, and then I back straight away from the wall and fire full magazine as I'm backing away. And while doing this, I did 4 recoil plots without the violet laser present, and then I did 4 with the violet laser present. And looking at them side by side here, you can definitely tell there is a difference in how much spread you're seeing, especially early on in the recoil plots. I think that's really the key because, as I said earlier, while holding down the trigger, you're still experiencing the spread increase just by firing the gun. So you're still going to be seeing spread. Even if you were to eliminate this aim down sight spread while moving value, you're still dealing with that other spread value. But it is quite clear that there is an improvement, especially early on, and those tend to be the most important shots that you're firing, because usually in a gunfight, you want to be hitting the enemy with the first few shots that you're firing, not your 20th shot while going full auto. So that's already looking pretty good for the violet laser, but a different methodology I also wanted to try out here is strafing sideways while firing entire magazines, and then comparing those as well, primarily comparing the deviation vertically from what would otherwise be a very consistent recoil curve. And in this case, once again, I'm definitely seeing a difference, especially with the first handful of shots fired. You can see on the violet laser side, there is very little vertical deviation in those shots. And even horizontal deviation, it's much more consistent compared to without the violet laser on the left, where not only are you seeing more deviation up and down, you're also seeing just inconsistent spacing, which is showing off the horizontal deviation. It's just kind of harder to point that out. But absolutely, you can see the violet laser helping here, especially with those initial shots fired. And then just another way to look at this, I did sort of a connect the dots overlay on all of these as well, just so you can see the path that these shots are taking and how much of a zigzag you're seeing there with and without the violet laser. And again, especially early on in the recoil plots, there is definitely a nice improvement there with the violet laser. And as a result, unsurprisingly, this is an excellent attachment to use in the game, especially when looking at the cost of it and the fact that it's not visible to enemy players. It costs only 10 attachment points. Enemies can't see it. For me, I'm actually going to start implementing this on so many of my builds, because as of right now, I have been using the blue lasers quite a bit, primarily for this benefit, and then I just considered the hipfire benefits to be a bonus on top of that. But then of course the downside is you have that visible laser that may give your position away in some situations. In this case, now I just don't need to worry about that. I get the exact benefit I'm looking for with no downsides attached to it, and it's cheaper. And once you unlock it, it's unlocked for all of the guns. So for some guns, if the blue lasers are unlocked later on, you don't have to grind for a long time to eventually get to it. You can use this right out of the gate. Now, in saying that, for some setups, it may not make a whole lot of sense to use this, especially depending on your playstyle. If you're somebody that's just locking down a position, you're not really strafing in fights all that much, you don't implement a lot of movement, then sure, this violet laser is probably not going to be your best bet. But if you are planning on moving around a fair amount, especially while shooting, this is definitely going to make a nice difference, and I've been noticing that with my gameplay as well. I really do enjoy this laser. I think it was the best addition to the game with this update. Now, of course, those are just my thoughts on the violet laser, and I'd love to hear what you guys think about it in those comments down below. And again, just a reminder, if you guys have missed the video breaking down the new Flash comp, I will leave a link to that video in the description of this one. If you enjoyed this video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.